Okay, good morning children. Today I thought we'd make bobotie, which is another traditional South African dish which I remember fondly from my childhood. So as usual, I've put all my things out. We can start with a little bit of oil and some onions which I've already chopped. So I've put the oil in here, and I've already started frying my onions. They're a bit steamy. And I've added a little bit of barbecue spice and garlic salt to the onions. Okay, the other thing I want to tell you is that this dish traditionally is made with milk in it, and also we fry our onions in butter, but I am going to use coconut milk, okay? And also to fry my onions in, I didn't use any butter, I used oil. Okay, so we start off with some fried onions and a little bit of spices, barbecue spice, salt, garlic. Here's my garlic and my regular salt. And then we will need we need some turmeric, we need some vinegar, we need some sugar, we need curry powder, we need some dried fruit, a nice healthy section of minced meat. I've got half a kilo here, and we need a few slices of bread. Okay, so it's a long, complicated one because it has a few different stages, but by the end it's very delicious. Okay, so oh wait, and we need eggs. I forgot, we have a topping of eggs. Okay, so this is what you need. You need all your spices, you need eggs, you need bread, you need milk, or in my case coconut milk, fruit, meat, your onions, and let's get cracking. Okay, it's gonna be great, you'll love it. Okay children, so I've been slicing up the dried fruit. This is some sliced apricots, these are raisins, this is a bit of dried pineapple, and these are meebos, just the dried fruit roll. Normally I wouldn't use those, but I didn't feel I had quite enough dried fruit, so because you're supposed to use prunes and other things, but I don't have, so I'm just using what I have. The mince has been cooking for a while. I've transferred it to the onions and it's looking well, and now I'm going to prepare my spices, so hold on for that. Okay, so for my spices we're going to start with about 1/3 of a cup of sugar, and then 2 teaspoons of curry. So I'm going to use my Raja hot curry. If you want, you can use a milder one, but I don't know, I like this one. Okay, so that's the 2 teaspoons of curry added to the sugar. Now I've got a bottle of turmeric here, so we're going to put in 2 teaspoons of turmeric. In fact, if you want, you can even make it more yellow and make it 3 teaspoons, but 2 is okay for now. So that's my turmeric, and then I need some salt, but I think I actually need a clean teaspoon. Hold on. Okay, so this is plain white table salt, and I'm going to take 1 teaspoon. Here it is, and we add it, and now we add the magic ingredient, which is vinegar. So you just fill up the rest of the cup with vinegar. Okay, so we just fill it up, and this is our sugar, salt, turmeric and curry mix, and we add our vinegar, and then we stir it all together, and we pour it into our curry mixture, which is busy cooking over there. Okay, so let's do that now. We're going to stir for a little bit. Okay, I've poured it in. Here it is, it's busy cooking away. You can see the curry's there, you can see the onions have caramelized beautifully on that side. The mince is busy cooking, so now we stir it all together and we cook it. Look, the onions cooked, I don't know, for 10 minutes already. Then I added the mince and cooked that for 10 minutes. I did put a little bit of garlic salt on the mince, and the onions were already pre-spiced. So now we've added the fruit, and we've added our curry and our sugar and our vinegar. I think probably we need half a cup of water as well, and then we cook it for about another 20 minutes, and try to get your mince into smaller sizes. Don't have like big lumps of meat, because it won't have any taste in it. Okay, I'm going to add the water now. It's cooking away very nicely, as you can see, and I've kind of chopped up the mince a little bit. look, my friend from India tells me the best curries have ginger and garlic in. So I've got some powdered garlic over here. Sorry, no, this is ginger. So let's put in a little bit of ginger. And I have powdered garlic, which I had some before, but why not? Let's add something more. Okay, so this is my garlic, and I'm just going to add in a little bit of garlic as well. And I've already, I don't know, let's put in a bit more ginger. And I think, you know, that's it. And now we just cook, I don't know, for about 15 minutes more. I am just going to add a little bit more water. Okay, so this is my second half cup of water. So in fact I've actually added a full cup already. And I'm just going to cook this on a very low heat. Let's turn the heat down. And we cook it, I guess, for another 10 or 15 minutes. Just make sure that all your spices are embedded, and you don't have too many big lumps of meat, because first of all the center of the lump will possibly be raw, but secondly it will be tasteless because the curry can't penetrate. Okay, so that's it for now. Let's cook it for 10 more minutes. Okay, so my mince is completely cooked, and I've just flattened it to get all the lumps and bumps out, and also to mix it properly. And I've put some aside here to taste, and I want to tell you, it's wonderful. It's really wonderful. Now, the next step is to kind of bind it together and do the topping. I'll show you what we need to do, but basically we need to soak the bread in the milk, add 1 egg, mix it all, and then put the second egg and the leftover milk on top, and then put that all in a dish and bake it. So yeah, that's that, you know. And then you make rice, and then you serve it with some chutney. In your case, if you don't want to make the kosher version, you can just use regular milk. Okay children, so the final stretch, I have selected my dish that I'm going to bake in. So I'm just going to butter the sides. Then I've separated a bit of the center of the coconut for the topping. This is going to be for the binding. So I'm going to chop up my bread, add it to the coconut milk, add 1 egg, and then we're going to mix it all together. So wait for that. I'm going to show you how to do it now. Okay, so as you can see, I've buttered my dish. I've chopped up all my bread, and I'm going to soak it into my coconut milk, and then once all the coconut milk has been absorbed into the bread, we add 1 egg, we mush it all together, and then we mix it all in here. And once we've done that, we transfer it back to this dish, and then we take our second egg and our coconut milk, mix it for a topping, and pour it on top and bake it. Okay, so I'm just going to let my coconut milk absorb, and I'll be back. Okay children, so as you can see, I've mushed my bread into the coconut milk, and I've made a kind of, I don't know, it's almost like porridge. But this is what we need. Now we're going to add our egg in, and our egg will bind it all together when we bake it. You don't have to do this, but it is an option because the white bread kind of changes the color of the bobotie a little bit. So I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of turmeric just to keep my color strong. And now we mix all of this together. And once we've mixed it all together, we add it to the meat. So hold on for that portion. Okay, so here it is. So now all we do is we mix it until it's thoroughly mixed. And once we've got a nice kind of smooth consistency where all the coconut milk bread mixture is mixed in neatly with the meat. Okay, so this is our final step before baking. I've emptied it into this dish now, so I'm just going to flatten it nicely and make sure that it all fits beautifully. There we go. We make our topping, we pour it on top of our dish, and then we bake it. So let's do that. Okay, so I'm just busy mixing my egg yolk with my coconut milk, and the coconut milk still has a little frozen center. There it is, but anyway. Okay, so here's our dish, and here's my little bit of coconut milk still frozen, but anyway. And as I said, this is the kosher version. If you don't mind mixing dairy, you can fry your onions in butter, but in this case I used sunflower seed oil. And you don't have to use coconut milk, you can use cow's milk, but we're actually done. Now we're just going to bake it, so let's do that. Okay, in the oven we go. And I'm doing it at 180 for about, I don't know, 25 or 30 minutes. Remember that it's cooked already, you just have to wait for the egg to set. And that's it, that is our traditional bobotie. There you have it. Wasn't too difficult. Now you just have to make rice. Okay children, I just want to talk to you a little bit about baking options. You can be as flexible as you want to be with your cooking, obviously. Instead of baking one big dish like case, or in the case where you want to give them away as gifts or even sell them, you could make individual little bobotie pies, which means just oil each one carefully and put your mince in each one. And then you can take it out with a spatula. Okay, so it's been half an hour and it certainly smells ready. So let's have a look. Hopefully the phone doesn't steam up so badly, but okay, so there we have, yep, that's our pie. I can actually switch it off and we can make the rice. So that's it. Okay children, this is the finished product, and as you can see, my little bit of frozen coconut kind of made its own mark. And then I made a bowl of rice, and because I had corn I put some corn in the rice, but that's it. Okay, so now you just gobble it up with a little bit of chutney. Right, enjoy.